What's up, wise guys and gals? Welcome to episode 21 of the Wise Eats Podcast. I'm former fat guy and possible COVID-19 survivor, Wes Wise. And yes, you did hear that right. I was sick for 12 days and I'm coming off a 14-day quarantine. But never fear, I've got my mask on, which has been proven by Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to be 100% effective. So here's the thing. If we're just supposed to wear masks now, can I just roll up anywhere and just wear this? Matter of fact, I think I'm just going to start walking around looking like this. How about this mask? Is it okay if I wear this mask? It's only for your protection. But anyway, in all seriousness, I'm super happy to be back here with you guys, back on the mic.
I'm not getting off this mic.
I'm going to talk more about my experience with being sick last month, and I'm also going to share 10 tips for you to boost your physical and mental health during this crisis. And I know you might be thinking, Wise Eats, how can this be? How could you have gotten sick? The kale eating, health and fitness, wheeling dealing, son of a gun getting sick. What's up with that?
Wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun.
Nobody is exempt from this virus. We're all affected in one way or the other, whether it's our health, our jobs, our personal relationships, our ability to go to the store and just get normal necessities of life like freaking toilet paper. Everybody's been affected by this thing, so nobody is exempt, myself included, and I got sick last month. I don't know if it was coronavirus, but it seemed like it was pretty dang close, so we'll dive more into that. Sorry to interrupt, just want to let everybody know that from here on out, the audio did something a little weird. I think it might have got coronavirus, and I do apologize for the change in tone, but let's continue with the program.
Does this mic work? Well then, f*** that mic.
And these are just crazy times we're living in right now. The world has turned upside down since the last time we spoke. The streets are empty, states are shutting down, the whole country's on lockdown. You know, the world as we know it is coming to an end, and the whole thing might be a conspiracy depending on who you listen to.
Now, the virus that we're talking about having to do, a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat.
It's a fact that restaurants have shut down, businesses are closing, millions of people have been laid off, including myself. We're all affected by this thing. My certified personal trainer class was postponed, so everything's on hold right now. Nobody seems to know what's going on and when this whole thing will be over. I'm just hoping and praying that it's going to be over as soon as possible and we can go back to some sort of normalcy. But since everybody's on full lockdown, there's no live sports on TV, let's buckle up. Maybe I can capture some of the millions of people out there who are looking for some entertainment. So definitely click subscribe, click the like button. I appreciate that. And here we go, baby. Let's spread some hope and positivity with the Wise Eats Podcast.
I want him to come and take this mic off me. Otherwise, I'm taking over this whole shit.
So I am going to talk about my sickness and some things that I did to overcome it. But before I dive into that, I just wanted to share some current stats from the Centers for Disease Control. If you're interested in getting more information about the virus itself, symptoms, whatever, I'll have a link to their site and everything else mentioned in this episode over at wise-eats.com/episode 21. The CDC website is a great resource for any questions that you can think of about the virus, although some people probably think it's all fake news at this point, but who really knows, right?
And, the CDC says this, and I'm like, my cousin works at the CDC.
So far, there have been 2.3 million documented cases of coronavirus. And this is as of Saturday, April 18th. There have been 160,000 deaths worldwide. In the United States, we have seen about 737,000 total cases with about 39,000 total deaths. That number will continue to climb as the CDC expects most of the U.S. population will be exposed to this virus in the coming months. The good news is, as many as 50 to 70% of people will not experience any symptoms, and so far, the total death rate is less than 1%. So roughly 80% of cases are very minor and not requiring any hospitalization. And if I had COVID-19, I was one of those 80%. It wasn't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things.
There is nothing these can do to faze me.
Again, these are just some of the highlights from the CDC's website. If you go to the show notes at wise-eats.com/episode 21, I'll have links to everything that I talk about here.
Coronavirus time. Everybody out there is wearing a mask, so I'm assuming that's what you're wearing on your face.
All right, so as I mentioned, I got sick in the middle of March, and I don't know if it was coronavirus, but I definitely had all the symptoms of it. So I did a full write-up of my symptoms and experience, and you can see that at wise-eats.com/COVID-19. So I'm sure a lot of people are out there worried about what happens if I get it, what's it like. So I'll share my experience, and hopefully that can help you out. So overall, I was sick for about 12 days, and many days my symptoms were very mild or pretty much not even noticeable. Like I could always tell throughout the whole time that I was kind of sick, but there was only 2 days where I was really like down and out of it. So not too bad. So it did seem to kind of come and go. I was really sick on the first day. Days 2 and 3 and 4 weren't so bad, and then day 5 hit me really hard again, and then it was all kind of recovery from there. So my symptoms were nausea. I had a fever on 2 of the days of about 101. A slight cough, not really. My chest did burn a little bit. Severe headaches, that was probably the worst symptom. Full body aching. I mean, that was pretty bad too. Oh, yeah, and then not the least of which was I lost my sense of taste and smell for 4 days. So, God, all those were kind of bad. I think maybe the loss of taste was probably the worst. Speaking of that, let's jump into a segment of this day in diet history. So once I got my taste back, I went absolutely bananas. And on March 28th, you could see the picture on the YouTube video of the insane diet day that I had. 7,600 total calories, 342 grams of fat, 303 grams of protein, and over 850 grams of carbs. Insane. So I started the day off with filthy French toast. That's a recipe on the website that I'll link to. Protein shake, Ezekiel cereal with mulberry, raisin, and cacao nibs. Put some cinnamon and stevia in that, and forget about it. Kodiak cookies, Kodiak pancakes, mint chocolate chip Greek yogurt bar, that we get those from Costco every once in a great while, popcorn, pretzels, and then, holy moly, I finished the day off with Sorrento Pizza and Greek yogurt. So what a day that was. That is not a typical day, of course. The next day, I got right back on it. That was like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I just went off the rail for an epic cheat day.
Oh, it's the best, dude. And for me, I mean, the cheat meals are, it's like church. It's like because you work out hard, and once a week you treat yourself, and then I partake in that.
Sometimes that's good for the soul. Get over this virus, and I swear that next day I felt better than any day the previous 12 days. So, hey, there's something to be said for going off the rails once in a great while. But anyway, I did speak with my doctor during this time that I was sick, and he advised me that they were not testing in mild cases like mine, and just told me to stay on 14-day isolation. He said as long as my symptoms didn't get any worse, the virus would pass and I'd be good to go. So he said to watch out for shortness of breath or any other deterioration in symptoms. And I never experienced any of that, so never got tested. And hopefully I got some antibodies flowing through these veins right now. So we'll see. I'll probably get tested for that eventually, I'm assuming. I don't know. We'll see how the testing pans out over the next few months.
And he seems fine. But he's really healthy. He's a robust, healthy, well-kept man. He takes care of himself.
Overall, the sickness was pretty rough, but it wasn't any worse than a bad cold or a mild flu. And was it COVID-19? I still don't know. But here's another thing. I got really sick in October of last year. I know a lot of people have been talking about, hey, I might have had COVID in November or December. I'm thinking I might have had it in October because we went to a concert, my wife and I, and 4 days later, I was the sickest I can remember being maybe ever. I don't know. It was bad. And I woke up, I was so sick, I called into work, and that was the first time I ever called into work in 6 years. It was just wasn't even possible. And I was sick for 9 days after that with same kind of symptoms: fever, nausea, congestion, lost taste, sore throat, and just, it was like one of the worst colds you could ever have. So it wasn't really like the flu. It was like horrible, horrible cold. I was seriously ill. So was that COVID? I don't know. But it really rocked me. So I was sick in October. I was sick in March. In my eyes, there's a high probability one of those was COVID. And the CDC says we're all going to be exposed to it. So who knows? You be the judge. Wise-Eats.com/COVID-19 for that full article if you want to check that out. So now I'll share the 10 ways to boost your physical and mental health during this crisis. I'm not going to go too deep. The full article is available at wise-eats.com/COVID tips. Number 1 is sleep. I slept 8 to 10 hours a night whenever I could, because that's when your body does all of its resting and repairing, and it is crucial to everything, to making gains, to getting over a sickness, to anything. Sleep is crucial. Number 2 is hydration. Drank a ton of water, tea, and coffee. Lots of benefits for that, especially when you're sick, but 365 days a year always. Tip number 3 is exercise. Halfway through when I was sick, I started lifting weights again because I thought I started feeling better, and I was like, all right, getting back to the weight. So I weightlifted for 2 days, and that, it was like day 5 or 6. I was floored again. It just went right back to being super sick again, and I think getting to the weights too early is what did it. So that taught me to just chill, rest fully, and allow this virus to pass, then get back to the weights after, because you're not going to lose any gains in a week or 2 weeks of whatever. So that doesn't mean I just sat on the couch. I went for walks, stretched, foam rolled, just generally stayed very active. Of course, my wife and I relaxed, did a little bit of that, but for the most part, I did keep it moving as much as I could, but I avoided strenuous workouts while being sick.
But he has it, and he's been doing these videos, updating and talking to people on his Twitter.
Number 4 is hot baths and essential oils. My wife, listen to the wife. Tip number 1, listen to the wife. She said take hot baths, use some essential oils. She was rubbing all kinds of gimmick oils on behind my ears and stuff. And hey, I think it might have helped out a lot. And hot baths, I've fallen in love with those now. They're a great way to relax. They improve blood flow. They reduce pain and swelling, relieve aching muscles, joints. They lower blood sugar, help you sleep, and they help headaches and cold and flu symptoms. So boom, right there, hot baths. If you can do that, get on that. Tip number 5, of course, is to eat a healthy diet. And it's one of the best things that you can do for a virus, is to put only healthy things in your body. So stick with real foods and wide variety. There might not be any toilet paper on the shelves, but there's plenty of kale where I've been shopping. So 95% of the time, I didn't eat anything that wasn't on the Wise Eats approved foods list. So you can get that over at wise-eats.com/approved foods if you want to check that out. But being healthy simply makes everything that you do in life easier. You know, we got to deal with this virus. We got to deal with family, and there's so much stress going on every day in life. So when you're healthy, it just makes everything easier. And on the flip side, being unhealthy turns every little problem into a much bigger one. So treat your body good, and you'll get that back out of it.
And that's just facts.
Tip number 6 is take supplements. So my doctor advised me to take Tylenol if I needed to, but I didn't. I also heard some people take aspirin, but I'm staying away from all that stuff because I've heard it can interact with the virus and whatever. So I don't take any of that junk. The supplements I did take were real food, vitamin D, creatine, fish oil, and magnesium. That was it. Nothing else out of the ordinary. And I would be taking that stuff if I was sick or all the time. Tip number 7 is to avoid alcohol. And I know this is a sensitive one for some people, and I'm like on a soapbox about alcohol nowadays, but hey, I used to drink every single day for a long, long time. And just keep it short and sweet, I read a book called Alan Carr's How to Stop Drinking Without Willpower, and I had been thinking about quitting drinking previous to this, but the book kind of, I don't know, flipped the switch in my brain, and I haven't had a drink since I read it, and I'm not going to give all the credit to the book, and this isolation and quarantine has helped out a lot. I haven't had much desire to drink. I haven't been around friends. It hasn't been social. But right now I kind of view alcohol as a poison that I just really don't need to have fun. My wife's been making these little mixed drinks with stevia and Zevia and carbonated water, and like they're so good. They're some of the best drinks I've ever had. There's no alcohol in them. We have fun making them and drinking them. Why do I have to add poison to that? Who needs alcohol? I'm sticking with my water, my high quality H2O. Drinking alcohol or putting any kind of poisons in my body, drugs or junk food, aside from that one day, all that's really going to do is break my walls down to where I'm going to have a harder time dealing with whatever this pandemic is going to throw at me. You know, last week I got laid off. Next week a family or friend might die. I'm not waking up hungover on any of these days because I need to wake up and be ready to fight whatever this thing is throwing at me. And, you know, even if it's not, I just want to feel good. I want to just be at my best. I want to make gains during this time. So, and I want to be kind to other people, and I don't want to be feeling like trash. So that's what it boils down to. All that is more important to me than a few hours of, I don't know, maybe a few hours of more fun, I guess, if that's really what alcohol does. I'm kind of questioning whether or not it does make things more fun. I think it's just an illusion that we've been programmed our entire lives to believe. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm joining a cult here. I don't know. But that's a good book. Alan Carr's How to Stop Drinking Without Willpower. I recommend it.
Thank you for coming. Chin chin. Chin chin. Chin chin. Thank you. Chin chin, guys. Chin chin. Chin chin. Chin chin.
Thank you for coming. Sing sing. Tip number 8 is to continue to learn. So, read books, meditate, learn a new skill, listen to podcasts. Hey, you're doing good with that. Watch YouTube videos about subjects you're interested in. I've definitely been reading books. I've just finished The Magic of Big Thinking by David Schwartz and The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Both were super good. Magic of Big Thinking, every time I opened that book, it was like boom, 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 just lightning bolts of amazingness. So really good book. Also take an online class if you can during this time. You know, my wife and I watch a little bit of Netflix here and there, but Dave Ramsey just offered a free trial of Financial Peace University, which is an amazing program. She and I sat down, you know, one night, almost every night for about 10 days, and we went through the whole program, and it was great. Brought us closer together. We're learning. We're growing together. Amazing. I'm also studying certified personal trainer material online because our class has been canceled, obviously, but I will still get that certification a little bit later this year once the gyms reopen and everything.
If you're healthy, you will probably go through a process and you'll be fine.
The bottom line at this time is to invest in yourself. We got all this downtime, most of us. So, you know, instead of feeding your brain with all the negativity and the constant headlines in the media, increase your knowledge and skills, and you'll come out of this thing better than ever before. Tip number 9 is to start each day with gratitude. You know, I haven't stopped my daily habit of journaling and writing down things that I'm grateful for. So I'm writing and tracking goals every single day that I want to accomplish and reminding myself of all the great things that I have in my life. Sure, times are crazy right now and things are hard and whatever, uncertain, but we are all blessed in certain ways. So I focus on those things. I got my awesome dogs, my beautiful wife. I have a roof over my head. I got food to eat. You know, life is pretty good.
Life is so f***ing good. How do I look?
There's really no room for negativity when you start from a place of gratitude, so I highly recommend journaling if that's something that you're not currently doing. Finally, tip number 10 is one of the very best things that you can do during this time is to stay positive. Don't get caught up in the hysteria and the panic and all the negative headlines and everything. It's mostly just all BS that's going to blow over, and in a year from now, this is going to be, it's going to be big, but it's going to be a distant memory at some point. We're all going to get through this, and we're all going to come back. So be realistic and stay prepared, but don't panic. I'm not emptying my 401k or doomsday prepping or raiding the grocery stores. I'm staying calm, hopeful, and optimistic. You know, part of the reason everybody's so panicked right now is because they're too busy listening to the news and listening to their social media feed. But forget about that stuff. Stop listening to your sister-in-law's baby cousin Tracy on Instagram.
Because my sister-in-law's baby cousin Tracy, she told me she went to the show last night and she saw you there all hugged up with some giraffe.
You know, I like to follow Dave Ramsey, Ken Coleman, lots of other people. My wife loves Rachel Hollis, and just other highly encouraging experts in their field. So surround yourself with optimistic individuals, because hope and positivity are what are going to get us through this thing.
So we've nicknamed you around here Mr. Good News.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a good moniker.
And believe me, I can think negatively and dwell on every headline just like anybody else, but I just choose not to. I do have to think about, how am I going to support my family, and what happens if a friend or family member gets sick. I'm human and fight uncertainty every single day, just like everybody else. When I was 5 years old, my mom passed away, and I was terrified every day that my dad was going to die. It was hard. I was only 5, so I don't really remember my mom much, but at that time in my mind, my dad was all I had. And if I lost him, it would just crush my whole world. So that was hard. And then when I was 13 years old, my dad woke me up out of a dead sleep to tell me that my older brother Jason had passed away. Again, my world was completely devastated. So 2 traumatic things like that early on in my life, it's been ingrained in me to kind of start with the worst case scenario and work my way backward from there. So I understand the feeling of uncertainty and fear, but that doesn't mean that I just dwell on the negative. I believe I'm a very positive, upbeat person. What it does mean is I'm just realistic, calm, and prepared to handle whatever happens and have the confidence that I will get through it.
Just know no matter what situation you put me in, I always come out on top. Whoop-a.
Before we get out of here, let's break for a quick word to the wise. Our first word to the wise comes from this_show on Instagram. He says, COVID-19 picked the wrong body. I couldn't agree more. She had no business jumping into this body. We dealt with that right away. God. Also, Aaron J. Hall says, the struggle is real. Thanks for providing some inspiration, Coach Wes. Well, thank you very much for that kind comment. I truly appreciate it. I hope I'm, inspiring some people with this and motivating a little bit. Hey, if nothing else, it's fun to do. So
I'm enjoying being home most of the day, other than the days I do podcasts.
That's going to do it for this episode's Word of the Wise. Anything that you throw at me with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, although I still don't really understand the Twitter thing, email, iTunes reviews, YouTube comments, I will share on Word of the Wise if you want to chime in. So there you go. There's my own personal experience with this virus, and hopefully some tips that can help you out. Hopefully this thing blows over sooner than later, but it's clear that our everyday lives are changed for the future. And who knows, maybe society as we know it will be forever altered in some way as a result of this. And it probably will. I mean, it most definitely will. But we're going to get through it. And the markets are going to take a hit, but they'll come back. The jobs are obviously going to go away for now, but they will come back. Heck, I work in the automotive industry, so it's hard times right now. And that's not good for me and my family. But am I panicked? No. Because just like other storms I've weathered in my life, this too shall pass. Hope can spread faster than fear as long as we all keep supporting one another. So be good to yourself and be good to others. Thanks for watching and listening, and make wise choices. But hey, if it helps stop from you from getting it from me, I'm all for it. So wear the mask if you want to. I also So here's the thing, since we're all wearing whatever when I do my COVID-19 shopping, I look good. I be looking good. And who knows? You know what? I think I got it. The kale eating, health and fitness, wheeling, dealing. I got my COVID-19 mask on. I got my COVID-19 haircut. Thank you for coming. Sing, sing, ching, ching, sing, sing. By the way, all you people hoarding all the toilet paper, y'all can keep your toilet paper. It's not even, you don't even have to have toilet paper in life. There's other ways to go about doing your business, okay? You don't gotta freaking take all the toilet paper off the shelves. Over to wise-eats.com/episode 21. Filthy French toast, which that's a website on the, that's a recipe on the website. Before we go, let's do a quick. So that's going to do it for episode 21. I appreciate you listening into the show. Make sure you click like and thumbs up. Nice to see you. Make wise choices. Sing, sing. Thank you for coming. Had enough of this, Jack. COVID-19 out.